I'm about to give a gender-neutral, racially indifferent take. Now, if you want to say, well, Acho, cater your take based upon gender, Acho, cater your take based upon race, I will understand that. But I'm about to give a gender-neutral, racially indifferent take. Angel Reese, you can't beat a big bad wolf, but then kind of cry like Courage the Cowardly Dog. Because if you want to act grown, which she has, if you want to get paid like you grown, which you are, if you want to talk to grown folks like you grown, which you did, post-game when you told a coach for an opposing team, watch your mouth. If you want to tell people, get your money up, then post-game when you take an L, you just got to take it on the chin. Nobody mourns when the villain catches an L. And Angel Reese, you have self-proclaimed to be the villain. Shout out to you, because you are the second best basketball player on the court, and it was not close. Outside of Caitlin Clark, it was you. 17 and 20, dog. Showed up, biggest game, second biggest game of your career. Absolute dog, but you can't, under any circumstance, go to the podium and now try to ask for individuals to give you sympathy. No one has sympathy for the villain. You painted the bullseye on your back. Why are you surprised when people shoot at you? So if you want to act grown, if you want to pose grown, if you want to talk grown, if you want to talk to grown folks grown, then you got to take the L like you grown. Because what frustrated me is when you want to be the villain, but you want to hope for sympathy like a hero. I'm about to give a gender-neutral, racially indifferent...
So, that was the commentary. Now, keep in mind, y'all, that at the news conference after they lost to Iowa, a reporter asked Angel Reese a question about the last year since LSU won the national championship. This is what she was talking about.
I don't really get to stand up for myself. I mean, I have great teammates. I have a great support system. I got my hometown. I got my family that stands up for me. I don't really get to speak out on things just because I just try to ignore, and I just try to stand strong. Like, I've been through so much. I've seen so much. I've been attacked so many times. Death threats. I've been sexualized. I've been threatened. I've been so many things, and I've stood strong every single time. And I just try to stand strong for my teammates because I don't want them to see me down and, like, not be there for them. So I just want to always just know, like, I'm still a human. Like, all this has happened since I won the national championship, and I said the other day I haven't had peace since then. And it sucks, but I still wouldn't change. I wouldn't change anything, and I would still sit here and say, like, I'm unapologetically me. I'm going to always leave that mark and be who I am and stand on that. And hopefully the little girls that look up to me, and hopefully I give them some type of inspiration that, hopefully it's not this hard and all the things that come at you, but keep being who you are. Keep waking up every day. Keep being motivated, staying who you are, staying 10 toes, don't back down, and just be confident. I don't really get to stand up.
That was what she was talking about.
Well, last year, she led her team to the women's basketball championship. They beat Iowa, which is the team that Caitlin Clark, that everybody's talking about, plays on. This year, Iowa beat LSU. So it's like, two rival teams again. Last year, her team won. This year, Caitlin Clark's team won. And you have to give it up for both these young women because they have brought a lot of flair and expertise to college women's basketball. And both of them will end up in the WNBA, and they will raise the profile of the WNBA. So they're both good for the sport. Now, as we know, these athletes talk trash to each other. They talk trash on the court. Sometimes they get mad and fight, especially the men, but they talk trash. So Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese both talk trash. When Caitlin Clark talks trash, the sports writers call her fierce and competitive. But when Angel Reese talks trash, they call her a villain, ghetto, go back to the projects. Those are the sorts of things they say to her. So the way it works is that when the white person is doing something, she gets labeled one thing. But if the black person does the very same thing, she gets labeled something else. One positive, one negative. What's new? So after LSU won the championship last year, the white sports writers started calling Angel Reese a villain. So after a while she said, okay, I'll be your villain. Not because she was calling herself a villain, but because they had labeled her a villain because she had led her team to the national championship. So after that, they found something wrong with everything she did, whether on or off the court. She became the villain, which was unfair. So this year when LSU played Iowa, Iowa won. Understandably disappointed, when Angel Reese spoke in the after-game interview, she was emotional, and she was asked the question, what had it been like for her this past year as she was leading the team, being the leader of the LSU women's team. And she started tearing up, and she talked about there had been death threats on her. She was harassed on the LSU campus to the point that she had to stop going to class in person and had to do her studies online. She has been sexualized. I think she was in a Sports Illustrated spread, and the mischief makers did some kind of inappropriate AI pictures from that. So that was a form of harassment. So as she was telling about the things that had happened to her during the past year, she did become emotional. And because she dared to cry in this interview, because naturally she was upset that they lost, she played her heart out, and they lost. So yes, she was disappointed that they had lost. But then when someone asked her about what she had gone through, and you add that to the fact that she was already upset, and then she was thinking about what she had gone through with this year, because they had said way back in the fall that she had to stop going to class because of harassment. But she wasn't out there complaining and putting it on social media all the time, but she was going through it. But because she had lost, and because they claimed she had been the villain, now she wasn't supposed to be sad or disappointed or cry because she trash talked in the games. So on the basis of that, they didn't feel like anybody should feel any sympathy for her, and how dare she sit there and cry when she has been a villain. So this Emmanuel Acho person had a lot to say, which I played at the beginning. But the reality is those other two black men were also disparaging of her. What they said about her was very unflattering. Basically, the same thing he said. They all acknowledged that she's a good player, but they still criticized her because she was sad, and then they called her a villain, which is something that the white media came up with. I didn't think it was fair to just drag Emmanuel Acho when those other two Negroes sat up there and said things very similar to what he said.
In the past few hours, let's just say Acho got a earful, and this was today's video.
I just want to say a quick thank you to everyone who has respectfully reprimanded me and offered brilliant opinions on the Angel Reese conversation. I do not believe there is any one way to think about things, but thank you to the Ryan Clarks, the Essence Atkinses, the Bosma St. John's, the Trellas, the different individuals who is publicly and privately just giving me good wisdom, good feedback, good discernment. I understand. I think life is all about understanding. And so I just want to applaud those publicly, you watching, and those privately who have respectfully, the operative word there being respectfully, who have respectfully reprimanded me. Matt Barnes, incredibly wise words. So I thank all of you all for that. I do not stand on a hill saying that I am right and you are wrong. I simply stand on a place saying, hey, this is what I believe. What do you believe? Let's listen to one another and construct a collective belief. So love to everybody who's respectfully reprimanded me, and I appreciate it so very much. Thank you all for that.
He's gone, Kuiper.